how to make the most out of your business, discover how to make more money, do less, and have time for the things that you love. As a quick note, I do have an internet marketing business. I'm an internet publisher. We'll talk about that more just in a minute. But I do have a business besides what I do with my company, Done For You Solutions, and what I learned along the way. So where you guys are at, what you're doing, that's where everything kind of came from. So you're in the right place. If you're serious about wanting to grow your business and your revenue fast, you know how to have someone else do the work that you don't have the time, the patience, or the skills to do, like fixing PowerPoint presentations, and you want to have more time to spend on the things you actually want to do, even non-business things. It is possible to actually have a business and keep your evenings and keep your weekends. If you're in that situation now, maybe you don't believe me, but it is possible. Keep your hopes up. I'll teach you how to do that. All right, over the next 60 minutes or so, you're going to discover how to build a bigger platform, stop leaving money on the table, leverage your time better than you ever thought possible. We can create a powerful team to help you get everything done cost effectively. That's a big theme too, obviously, right? We're all in small business. Costs are critical. We want to keep them down. It's a recurring theme throughout the presentations. Let's keep your costs down to be very cost effective. And of course, a whole lot more. You'll also gain the number one most important thing we're doing right now. We'll cover that in just a few minutes. How any small business can be transformed for the better almost immediately. The biggest mistake entrepreneurs make is about how they think and how can we stop her right here on this call. Normally do calls, guys, sorry, so it's right here in the event. The key is to understand what will work for you in your business before you risk time, energy, and money. Again, another big theme for me throughout these things. I'm going to teach you guys how to do some things that you are most likely doing very wrong right now, especially when it comes to outsourcing. And I want you to do them the right way before you risk that time, that energy, and that money. Because when you make mistakes, it's not just the cash out of your pocket, right? It is that time that you'll never get back. It's that energy you'll never get back. So we're going to talk a lot of time about that. And pretty much everything else I can throw in the next 60 minutes or so. I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm very excited about what I do, about the impact that I can make, and I also end up talking very fast. So if I'm talking too fast, just yell at me and say, hey, slow down. Other than that, we're going to cover a lot of ground and hold your questions at the end. I promise you you'll have time for questions, and I can guarantee you'll have some great ones. All right, at the end of the session, I will also be giving away some starter packages worth $150 for free. This is not information. This is real world worth $150 in your pocket. As a disclaimer, it will not be for everybody. I'll just be very, very transparent with you. If it is right for you, by the end of the presentation, you will know that it's right for you. Okay, it's as simple as that. All right, a little about me. Obviously, Devon introduced me. As I mentioned, I'm a publisher. I've got a company called Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. We've got over 160,000 subscribers. I've been doing that for about 10 years. We've done information products and Kindle books, and we've got an iPad magazine. So we've got Healthy, Wealthy, Wise on iPad now. And then through that, I started Done For You Solutions. Where I come from is I like systems. At a very transparent level, I'm lazy. So what I like to do is like to have other people do everything possible, and I like to have me do as little as possible. So for instance, when Healthy, Wealthy, Wise, after 10 years, we changed the model. We go on to iPad a few months back. Every month we have a new issue of the magazine. I don't like to do the whole issue of the magazine. That's not fun for me. What I do is I do the cover story. So I get to interview John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus author. I get to interview Neil Donald Walsh, Conversations with God. The magazine's personal development, right? Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. I get to interview Marcy Shimoff, Chicken Soup for the Women's Soul, and Happy for No Reason, Love for No Reason. All these massive, world-renowned New York Times bestsellers. That's the fun part. What sucks is all the actual background work for every single issue to get all the other content, work with all the different authors, all this stuff, and then of course actually putting it into a format that goes on the iPad. I don't do any of that. I work my tail off for the first 3 issues when we iPad, and now all I do is the fun stuff. I do the interviews. After that, the team does everything else. I have a company that takes care of the iPad magazine stuff. The idea is that we're going to free you up to focus on what your gifts are, what your strengths are, what you enjoy doing, and have somebody else do all the other work. And that's kind of the overall theme of what's going on. So, let's start this off with a quick riddle here. What do you call it when you the individual, the one who has to do all the work?
Job.
Employee.
A job. So, I like the word job. Because when I started my own business, the idea obviously was to get as far away as possible from being a job as possible, right? I mean, I wanted to get away from having somebody else tell me where I have to go to work, when I have to go to work, and worse, how much I'm going to get paid for doing that work, right? So we all started a business to get away from that. But let's talk about this. The number one myth that holds entrepreneurs back, that kills small businesses and turns dreams into despair, is very simply that you have to do it all yourself. So ask yourself, how much are you doing? Why is it that if your dream, well, actually, let's talk about that. Volunteers. Why did you start your business? I mean, was it because that you preferred working 60 hours a week versus 40? Right? I mean, that's not the idea, right? So anybody want to say why they start their business? Sir?
You had a better idea of how you could do the same thing for a customer base.
Okay. And why was that important to you?
Because you knew you felt you could make more money being independent.
Okay. Make more money being independent? Sure. Yeah.
Independence.
Independence, control, freedom, right? And this is what we all started this, right? Whatever your answer is, the variation of independence, of control of your own destiny, of the freedom, right? So then why is it that all too often we get caught in this myth of task comes up, I've got to get this done. I've got to just go ahead and do it, right? It's learning how to do X, it's doing Z, whatever it is. We tend to automatically, as entrepreneurs, just jump right in, don't we? Both hands, both feet, let's just go. Let's just start doing the work. The problem is, of course, is that at the end of the day, you are now trapped in this phenomena where you have piled task upon task upon task onto yourself. And now you're working, as one entrepreneur, a friend of mine, Marilyn Tribute, she calls it, it's entrepreneurs are willing to work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40. Why? That makes no sense, right? Why do we're doing this? This is how we're living it. But that's not the reason when we started the business in the first place. We wanted to get away from that. And yet, that's the conundrum, right? So let me ask you this. Take a second and think about this. And I've never asked this to a live audience before, so this is going to be really fascinating for me. I've talked to a lot of successful people and very well connected, and so let me ask you this question. Out of all the speakers, the authors, the experts, the entrepreneurs, the businesses that you're familiar with, that you know, that you read about, can you name any single person that has truly succeeded alone? Somebody who is not just paying the bills, okay? I'm talking about succeeded at a level that you would like to succeed at. Can anybody say, yep, I know a John Smith or a Jane Doe? Anybody? And the reality is that it doesn't exist. Right? We all know logically that it doesn't exist. And yet, at the end of the day, again, that's the conundrum. We're back into that myth of task comes into us, oh, I got to do it. I got to do it myself. So, you know, what's the disconnect here? You follow me? Logically, we all know that this is not possible. No one succeeds alone. Okay, unless you really do just want that job, right? That just overbroke. The team is required to have the success. Period. We all know this. This is logical. But the problem is that on a day-to-day basis, we get wrapped up in doing all those tasks, doing all those things, right? You've got a new client request. All right, I'll just go ahead and take care of that. It'll only take me a few minutes. When in reality, that client request comes in 20 times a month or 20 times a year. And it shouldn't be you, because you are the CEO of your company. You are the president of your company. You are the person in charge of vision. We're going to talk a lot about that. Let's start here. Hopefully you're taking notes. I promise you'd want to. Start writing the answer to these questions here. Just start making a random list. There's no importance here. There's nothing right, nothing wrong. But where are you holding yourself back? What are you doing that you shouldn't be doing or don't want to be doing? We all typically have those tasks that, quite frankly, make you want to poke your eye with a sharp stick versus having to do, right? It's the task that, oh God, it's Wednesday, I got to do these tasks, and you don't want to get out of bed. That's a great place to start. If there are tasks in your business that are just, they're dragging you down, that you do not want to be doing, but you still have to do for your business, write those things down. What are you doing that you shouldn't be doing? This is a bit trickier. Again, I want you thinking in the mindset here that you are the president of your company. You're the CEO of your company. You are in charge of a lot of things only you can do and you should be doing. But that means there are lots of things that, while may need to be done, you shouldn't be doing these things. Okay? It could be a matter of research, it could be a matter of customer service, it could be a matter of building your own web pages, it could be a million different things. Just start making yourself a list and get you thinking about it. It's a mindset thing I want you guys to think about here, okay? All right. Now, I've heard this in multiple places. I'm being very transparent. This is not mine. Most recently, I've heard this from Larry Winget. The 3 times you're having someone else do those tasks is if they can do it faster, cheaper, and or better. It's a very simple metric. that list of tasks in your mind or on that piece of paper, if you go through those lists of tasks and you can find somebody else who can do it faster, cheaper, or better, you should not be doing it. Because there's a whole category of tasks that nobody else can do better than you can. Because it's your business, it's your vision, it's your strengths, your gifts. Okay? So hopefully you write that down. It's a very powerful concept as well. Now, every once in a while, there are people who aren't really thinking this through, and they kind of come up and they say, hey, I'm succeeding, I'm doing fine, Rick, my business is growing, I'm paying my bills. But they're doing it all themselves. And forget having evenings, forget having weekends.